Have you ever picked up your guitar to find noises like this? Really hard to listen to. Very often, this terrible buzzing noise can be fixed instantly without taking your guitar to the shop. So let's learn how to fix a buzzing guitar. Something I'm actually noticing since I've changed the strings on this guitar, I went to lighter tension bass strings, and actually I'm noticing that they're buzzing quite a bit more than my old strings that I had on. And I think it's because the old strings were normal tension, the basses were. And by going lighter, they're more floppy, and I think they're hitting the frets a bit more, a bit easier. So one solution is to just use higher tension strings, which is going to be lead to less buzzing. But just remember, when we're fixing buzzing by raising the action or increasing the tension on the strings, we are sacrificing playability, right? So the higher the strings are, and that's what action is, right? Action is the height of the strings above the fretboard. The higher they are, the more you have to really work to push them down every single time you want to play, which means you lose playability, you lose efficiency. So whenever we shim the bridge or the nut, we're making it harder to play. Likewise, when we raise the tension on the string and make it more taut, what we're doing for the left hand is making the string more stiff. And so for me, when it comes to playing slurs, like in trills, that's much harder. So for Baroque music, it's super complicated. For vibrato, it's so much easier with lower tension strings. In the end, we're constantly balancing between playability and pure sound without buzz, right? So we can't have always both, but we can find that Goldilocks zone of compromise where the instrument is easy to play and yet we get a resonant, buzz-free sound. If you're trying all these different methods out and you still can't locate the source of the buzz, one possibility is that the braces that are on the inside of the instrument have come loose. All it takes is one slightly loose brace to make a really bad sound. This is currently happening with one of my lutes, actually. I think it got too hot and perhaps some of the glue melted, and now there's a separation, and every time the soundboard vibrates, you get this sort of fast clapping between the wood, which sounds like this fuzzing or buzzing inside the guitar. You can actually find this if you play a note and you listen, change where the guitar is. Is the buzz coming from here? Is it coming from the fret area? Does it sound like it's coming inside the sound hole or from the bridge? If you can tell where the buzz is coming from, you can usually pick out what the problem might be. So if it's a loose brace, one method of finding it is to dampen the strings and knock with your knuckles all around the soundboard. This doesn't hurt the guitar, don't worry. And if you get to a point that sort of fuzzes or sizzles, zzz, 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 like that you might have located a loose brace, and in that instance you definitely have to take it to a repair shop where they can go inside and simply put a little glue and touch it up, and you'll be back to playing. So if your guitar is buzzing, I hope it was fixed by one of these easy quick fixes. But if you do need to take it to a shop, you should know some new lingo. You need a setup. To get a guitar set up, that usually means making sure the saddle, the nut, the truss rod, if you have one, most guitars don't, the frets, everything is set up in the right place, the right proportion, so that the guitar is going to be easy to play and buzz-free. And if your guitar is not easy to play and is not buzz-free, then a setup is what you need. Some classical guitars today are being made with a truss rod, which is a metal rod that goes inside the neck, which can be adjusted, usually either here or here with an Allen wrench, and that basically changes the amount of bow or relief in the neck, and that can be used to adjust, really fine-tune the the action. But since most classical guitars don't have that, we have to resort to changing the saddle, changing the nut, and in some instances, replaning the fretboard, fixing some frets, and in the worst case, taking off the neck and refitting it back on with a neck reset. Now, to end this video, I just want to make the point that there's no such thing as a buzz-free guitar. Give me 100 guitars, I can make all of them buzz. This is a good guitar. It's not necessarily buzzy right now, but guess what? I can make it buzz by putting pressure in the wrong place. So how can I make a guitar buzz? If I play over the fingerboard and I really push in, I'm kind of guaranteeing that the string is going to slap against the frets very quickly, which is going to cause that rattling sound. So every guitar has a buzz point. Usually it's if I play on the fingerboard, which is called tasto, and I push really hard, most strings will buzz. If I want to play forte, which means loud, I usually have to go a bit more ponticello, more towards the bridge. And then I can get more volume without a buzz. You'll always have some buzz on a guitar, and in fact, different players have different preferences for string tension and action, how high the strings are above the frets, because they play with more strength, and then therefore they need higher action, higher tension strings. And so we all are finding our own touch, our own preferences, but in the end, remember, it's a compromise between the playability of the instrument, the ease with which you can play the instrument, and how buzz-free you can be. So that's going to be it for today. If you have a trick to get rid of buzzing that I forgot to mention today, please do leave it in the comments below. And if you're enjoying all of my free educational videos, you can give back by liking, subscribing, and sharing them so that more people can see them. Another way to help this channel is to become a patron on Patreon. So there you can get extra guitar tips, MP3 downloads, downloads of my CDs, you can get a lesson with me, and many more perks. So take care and happy buzz-free playing.